And we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports for the first of 4 SA games this weekend. The URC is finally back, and very much the business end of the URC, which is going to be exciting because this is basically almost a playoff game, really, for the Sharks and Benetton, because the winner of this game will put themselves pretty firmly into the top 8. The all-important top 8 to try and get themselves into the playoffs for the URC and more importantly, get a spot in that Champions Cup next season. So a very important game coming up, and it's two good teams as well. It should be a really exciting game. And at the end of the day, we've got two teams full of international players, and two sides brimming, with international flair that hopefully Benetton will be able to go toe Sharks and be able to put up a really good game. And the Sharks will need to actually be at their best tonight to try and get a result. We're going to go to the teams in just a moment. But in the meantime, I want you guys to go and vote on the poll and let me know who you think is going to win, who you're backing, what you're supporting, and what your thoughts are of the game. We're going to go through the team in just a moment. It's an interesting 2 weeks now because you've got to sort of brush off the disappointment of you knocked out of the Champions Cup, and at the end of the day, for the likes of Sharks, you've got to try and put that behind you and make sure that you now do not let the Champions Cup rugby slip away and fall outside that top 8 in the URC. Get yourself in playoffs. At the moment, at the beginning of the season, they probably would have been looking for a home playoff, home quarterfinal. That's not really going to happen, is the reality. And they've now got 2 weeks at home. Their last 2 weeks will probably be at home. And then they're going to have to travel. And they're going to have to travel very well. They are going to try and get, somewhere down the line for the URC and try and get to those sort of playoff matches. But, we've got a poll running in the comments. Please go and vote on it and let us know who you think is going to win. And let's see. Which team really pitches up. I'm going to go through the team in just a second. Just quickly sharing the link over here. Try and get as many people down to the stream as possible. Seeing the links over there. And right, so I'll be saying Sharks need a big win. James asked, can Sharks finally win a game? Not gonna lie, I'm happy our teams have played less games out of the Heineken Cup. Says I'll be a big say Steve. Sharks for the win. The White Stadium's stay empty, not a good look. It was a bit disappointing actually. Friday evening, it's they're back on the long weekend. Everybody should be back at home, so it would have been nice to have a bigger crowd. As I said, it's two nice teams. In terms of the players playing, lots of international players, so it's a bit annoying, a bit frustrating. But let's go through the team, shall we? And we're going to start with the home side, which is the Sharks, and it's as full strength as they can go. So it is Oxen Chair, Bongi Benambi, Thomas Satori, Hiron Andrews, Brad Krobler is the tight 5. Obviously, no Evan Etzebeth, who is out for the season. You then got Sia Khaleesi, Vince Tuka, Sikimoza Noche in a very accomplished back row. And I think that back row is going to have to be, one of the main performers for the Sharks this evening. But it's against a good Benetton back row. It's basically Italian back row. And you then got Grant Williams, it's current Bosch. Grant Williams got an opportunity. Jaden Hendricks is injured. And that sort of opened the door really for Grant Williams to try and push for sort of further on and get himself into that Springbok squad. You then got Makazuma, Pimpy, Berta Cocker, the 2 wings. Ben Tapawai comes in for Ryan Janssen from Rensburg, who also looks like it could be a long-term absentee. He next to Lakanya and Buddha Chamberlain at full back. Off the bench, Karen from Fury, Institut Kamtulu, Colin Sadi, Jean-Louis Labaskakni, Pepsi Boutelezi, Cameron Wright, Miles Portkita, and Thaka Abrams. For Benetton, we've got Nahil Tetas Chaparro, the Argentinian Lucid, next to Giacomo Nicotera, who had a very good Six Nations, and Tiziana Pasquali. Then the Italian starting locks of Niccolo Canoni and Federico Razza, Sebastian Negri, Italian captain Michele Lamaro, and Lorenzo Canone. Duvanaka will lead the side tonight. Thomas Omenos will be his halfback partner. Marcus Watson, Eduardo Padovani, two wings. Jacques Riera, Jean Ignacio Brix, your centre pairing. I'm a very big Jean Ignacio Brix fan. And hopefully he'll have another good game tonight. And he's next to the Argentinian Riera. So quite a big Argentinian flair to this Benetton side. And then South African Reno Smith at full back. Off the bench, Sio Mali, Thomas Gallo, Filippo Alonghi, Ricardo Favretto, Manuel Giuliani, Alessandro Gabizzi, Jacob Imaga, and Marco Zanon. So just plenty of Italian and international players, Argentinian international players, and Springbok players across the two sides. So as I said, two good sides, and hopefully it will turn into a very good game. The man in the middle is Ben Whitehouse. He's being assisted by Morne Ferreira and Stephen Gelnes as the two linesmen. And it is Albanese with a ball in hand. Benetton were playing left to right. I think they'll be playing against the wind in the first half, if it's anything like the Currie Cup match, which was earlier. And we do get things underway as they go down the right-hand side. And an early touch for Cabran Crobler, deep inside his 22, going on to the right-hand side there, did Benetton. Grant Williams, first box kick of the day. Looks like it sliced off his boots slightly. It's not this base kick. It's a bit of a problem, I think, for Grant Williams, his box kicking, and something that he's going to have to try and sort out. If he's going to want to play for the Springboks this year and play many more test matches, he's going to have to try and get this right. Your box kicking is such an important part of a Scrum Ops game, and if he can't get it right, then it's going to definitely limit him from getting more and more international caps. But a good line there from Benson. They'll do not going to breaks. Breaks a nice little round. It's an early break for Lorenzo Canone. He's brought down by Mapimpi, but Benson inside of 22. The Kanya going through disrupting things. It goes back to Canone's brother, Niccolo Canone. Albanese. Inside goes Riera. Strong carry, and he gets the offload as well. Good carrying himself from Benson. Ball up top to Duvanaka. They've got numbers here. Breaks go to Albanese. And Marcus Watson's brought down just inside by the 5-meter line. Good go for a ball there for Chaparro. Duvanaka going to Sebastian Negri. That 5-meter out. Now Lorenzo Canone made the initial good break. Niccolo Canone this time. Duvanaka. Oh, almost a bit of a shuffle there, but well held by Pasquale. Now Brex. Ball comes with the back of Mapimpi's shoulder. It goes to Sebastian Negri, and Benetton are over. Well, hello. That is not what the Sharks would have wanted. It's exactly what Benetton would have liked. The early start, the Italian team. What a start that is. And that's just pure ball retention, isn't it? It's just phase off phase. A great little break there, getting out that bent up wide. It's a good tackle from Mapimpi, who had to do well to bring down Niccolo Canone, and then they just were relentless. Eventually, they ball the back of Mapimpi, fortunately bouncing back to Albanese, and then a bit of broken play, popping into Negri. He had a couple of bit of space in front of him and a man outside him, so always backed him or bent him to get over, and they do. Not even 3 minutes in, and the Sharks will trail by 5 points with a kick to come from Thomas Albanese. Not a good start from the hosts. Right, Thomas Albanese. And he's nailed it straight down the middle of the poles. And Benson will take an early 7-point lead, not what the Sharks would have wanted. But Kern Bosch going to the left-hand side there. It's a good deep restart, and it's the try score of Sebastian Negri underneath it. Out to the 22, Stuvenark goes short to Nicotera. Duvenacher down the middle of the pocket. It is allowed to bounce and will bounce favorably. And it's bounced together by Herrera. And the ball pops back up. Got Williams with sniping. Albanor then seeing a bit of space in behind. Goes to the boot. And Kieran Bosch is out there. He'll get his first touch of the game. He's finding a good clearance. And he will find clearance by a teammate. But very good little kicking behind there from Duvenacher. And a good chase as well for Benetton. So Sharks at the moment sort of hanging on really under a lot of pressure. Another good line to Federico Raza. Albanors going flat to Breaks. And Breaks popping up to Canoni once again. Seen that before. Now they're going to the downside. Long pass out wide by Riera. Almost looked like drifted wide. Strong carry as well. Vernon Cox trying to come through. And Grant Williams, the penalty advantage here for Benetton. They do get the penalty. Grant Williams not impressed with that decision, but second man in, so not allowed to play that ball. And Benton, that's a sign of confidence. They'll just tip it to the corner. They're going to have a go here. Federico Raza once again, but they're going to have to restart, retake that. Another good line there from Benetton. Look at the rolling more, and they've made a couple of meters here. Now Oxenchair's working very hard getting to the middle. They do use Duvenacher going to Albanor's got to make an extra break. But he goes himself. There's Vieira. Oh, yes, outside back door. Ignacio breaks under the poles. Bang, bang. Benetton are over again. Well, not going well is the only way to say it. And how easy was that? How easy was that? Just Vieira steps on his right hand side, sees a bit of space. Chicken wing pass to Ignacio breaks, who's got nobody ahead of him. Very, very worrying signs this for the Sharks, who trail by 2 tries already, and it hasn't even been 10 minutes. Right, so this has not gone well. This has not been a start at all. I'll be saying, how can the Sharks be full of box and play so poorly? It doesn't look good for the box man. We need our players to be in form. Big saying the Sharks midfield has been leaking tries. Yeah, this could be big, big trouble if they don't sort this out quickly. What a start this though. 14-0 away from home, down in Durban against a stacked Sharks side. Deep restart there. And a good take as well. Once again, Sebastian Negri underneath that. They're not even 10 minutes in, 14 points to 0, and jeepers me, this has been a very one-sided contest. And I'll tell you what, if Benetton keep playing like this could get quite embarrassing for the Sharks quite quickly. And a good good clearance coming from Duvenacher as well. And Sebastian Negri is taking down, achieving a bit of treatment. Yeah, it's a blood bin, so it looks like there will be a replacement here. Jay Peterson watching on. The Sharks would love to have somebody like him to be able to bring on in this sort of situation. But yeah, no, it's just not going well, is it? It'll be a Sharks line here. It's an opportunity for them to try and get ball in hand. They do got a Vincent Stuka. It's a good take down to Grant Williams. It goes flat to Curran Bosch. Curran Bosch, there's a couple of runs. Kanya goes out wide, and it's a bit of a fumble from Buddha Chamberlain, and a turnover ball. 2 double knocks there. And Werner Koch just pulling Reno Benjamin down, and I don't think he was too appreciative of that. Yeah, I'm not sure that it was actually intended for Buddha Chamberlain. I think it would have gone straight to the hands of Werner Koch. People always say Sharks paying for not having a proper coach there to match their player recruitment. Yeah, I tell you, it's so difficult to sort of pin down exactly what's going wrong with the union. Be interested to see what happens in the offseason, because they're going to have to do something at the end of the day, whether it's changing the coaching staff or whatever, but something has to change. Because if they do not make their Champions Cup, then that is a massive blow. To have gone and recruited all these players, to have sat there and go and say they want to become one of the best teams in the world, not even in South Africa, in the world, not even the URC, in the world, to then playing like this is just absolutely dreadful. I say Sharks are amateur and they're full of box. Yeah, it's as I said, but I suppose. And it's gone down. Penalty now for Benetton. Well, I'll tell you what, the Sharks can't get anything right at the moment. They've conceded 2 penalties. They haven't had a single thing go their way. The one time they had possession, they've thrown it away. Benetton, on the other hand, everything they touch is turning to gold right now. And right now, it's very much a one-way contest and is not in favor of the home side. Reno Benjamin is probably about the only South African smiling at the moment, as he's currently on the winning team, and he's going to be the one to kick towards touch. Benton, that's another good line up there. They're back inside the Sharks territory. Riera popping up tenacious breaks. Big hits on Tembet Tapuai. Yes, can't have a second go. Thomas Toy making a good turnover though and winning the penalty. Now that's a good moment, and hopefully for the Sharks, that'll be a bit of a turnover moment. Sometimes you need that. When you're a little bit flustered, when you're under a lot of pressure, you just need someone to put their hand up and go and affect something. And Thomas Toy done very well to win a penalty there. Curran Bosch finds touches outside 22. So an opportunity now for the Sharks. This time Sharks now going for the rolling more. Yeah, just outside 22. Trying to peel towards the right-hand side, which looks a bit promising. Once is the call. Grant Williams does break, goes to Bentap wide. Bentap wide pops it behind Curran Bosch. Curran Bosch going to Buddha Chamberlain. Buddha Chamberlain shifting wide. Got my Pippi on the outside. Pippi steps inside. Tackle comes from Nation breaks. Good tackle as well. Sharks inside 22. Grant Williams having to really dig for that. Good carry. That Vintage took another ball come off Grant Williams. 2 Buddha Chamberlain. Long pass out to Mapimpi. Mapimpi throwing it across to Werner Koch. Werner Koch measuring up a couple of players. Trying to find out this gap. Now just towards the left-hand side. Bit of a wall, and he's driven back. Not too many options there for the number 14. Now Curran Bosch popping up to see Khaleesi, the captain. Much better from the Sharks here, but just not too much go-forward ball at the moment. At least they got the ball in the inside Benton territory. Grant Williams going to the left side. Bent up a wide. Once again to Vincent Tuka. Pimby thought about the pass and goes himself. Just outside the 22. Lorenzo Canoni goes out, has to be on the ball, I think is the call. And he has conceded a penalty. So Sharks now with an opportunity once again to apply a bit of pressure. Obviously, that's the same move Sharks scored with last week. This time, I haven't got the pass wrong. He's been disappointing. Yeah, coming back from injury. Nakanyama, I don't think he's been in quite the form he was in last year. So hopefully, he'll start to sort of get into the groove as the next couple of games go by ahead of the Springbok season. Dylan saying, I'm done with the Sharks. At least the Lions have honor when they lose games. Vic says, I blame the 10-week rusty break. None of the Boks have been the same since then, except Willem says he's been on point. But the Sharks arrived from Europe, yet who's playing Benetton? Yeah, I'll tell you what. And speaking of Benton, that's a very good more defense there. And they're going to have to use this here, are the Sharks. They're trying to work, but the ball comes back to Mapimpi at first receiver. Mapimpi always seeing a bit of space. Mapimpi comes up just short. Sharks within 5 meters. This is much better. Grant Williams to Oxenchair. Still working hard as Oxenchair. Pick up and go from Sycamores and Noche. He's finding himself in the starting line a bit more in the last couple of games. Pick up and go from Thomas Toy. Penalty advantage as well for offside. Popping up and go. Fincher took her over. Sharks hit back. That's a bit better. And already, I was going to say earlier that Vince Tuka looks a lot better today. He's looked very bright so far. And he gets the first try for the Sharks. Could be a high scoring game from the sounds of it. From the looks of it, rather. And they don't want to defend the more, the Benetton, but then the defensive structure kind of disappeared really. And Vince looked up, and there wasn't too many players ahead of him, managing to capitalize well. So Curran Bosch will have an opportunity to try and halve the lead. And Grant Williams has jogged over because there's a lot of wind. And he's going to be running out of time, 40 seconds. Actually, is right by the pole, so there should be no issue whatsoever. Yeah, he does put it straight through the middle. So Sharks to 7, Benton with 14. 3 tries already in the first 60 minutes. So scoring at well over a point a minute. So I mean, that can continue from an entertainment point of view. Right, so that's a bit from the Sharks, and hopefully that'll be a moment that'll sort of inspire them. But tell you what, Benetton, I don't think we're too upset. They said they played well in the opening stage, and they'll know that they'll have a couple of opportunities that could take them to Krobler. And the ball's been ripped in the tackle, but then paused to Skibos and Noche. Now, Vincent Tuka, the try scorer, has lost the ball, in fact. Turnover ball. And Riera scored the ball by Sekulisi, but he gets the offload. That's very well done by the number 12. He had a very good start to the game. But Oxenchair has picked up a turnover, but Benjamin has then managed to dive on the ball before Sekulisi wins the penalty. Bit of a scrappy stage of play there. A couple of turnovers, and then Sekulisi getting his hands over the ball. The captain coming in clutch, and I think this is the sort of situation where you look to your big players, and you see Mapimpi's look pretty active. Looked like he's trying to find a bit of work, and Sekulisi needs to step up as well. You got to look at your big players: Sekulisi, Lakanya Ams, your Bongi Manambi, your World Cup winning players who, when the going gets tough, you kind of need to lean on these players, and that's where you kind of expect them to really stand up and be the difference. And all of a sudden, a bit of a momentum shift towards the Sharks, winning a couple of penalties, scoring that try. The question is, can they make it count? Here at the front of the lineup, Hiron Andrews, his first take of the day. Looking for the rolling more here. It's a pretty decent more. Now it's eventually held up there. Once is the call just outside their own half by the halfway line. Grant Williams will look to kick here. He does look to high in the air, and Pimpi's chasing hard. And it's a good take by Padavani under a lot of pressure, but support does arrive. So Benson back inside their own 22. Divanaka going to Sebastian Negri, who's back on the park. Actually, I don't think he ever left, actually. Managed to sort out that bit of blood earlier. Divanaka, not too many options over here. It's going to go to the boot. He's not going to kick it up, though. And it's a good take from Pimpy. But he's been burgled by Albanos brilliantly. Turnover ball here. And they're looking for a quick ball here are Benetton. And Nicotera now being held up by Thomas the Toy. Eventually getting down the ground. Now they go back to Albanos in the pocket. Who once again finds it pretty low, pretty down the centre of the park. Your Curran, Bosch, and Buddha Chamberlain who are back retreating. Curran and Bosch looking for a very good clearance, but he doesn't find touch. A bit of counter coming here. Excuse me, chaps. And Benson up to the Sharks 10-meter line. Nicola Canoni, it's a good tackle being made by Oxen Chair. And Thomas Troy once again winning a breakdown penalty. Very, very poor clearing, it must be said, from Benson there. Two players not being able to move the big tight head, and they just got their positioning completely wrong. Thomas Troy doing very well to get his hands on the ball and win another penalty. Good kick and Curran Bosch. Sharks over line just outside the 22. Alright, Bongi Minami just outside 22. They got Avengers Tuka once again. Signesia breaks from the back though, going to Grant Williams. Popping up to Ben Tapawire back on the angle. Ran straight into Nicotera. Good tackle being made by the hooker. Now Thomas Toy, almost a bit of a fumble. Getting into 22. Back to Krobler. Williams going to Tapawire. Tapawire wants to go himself. And Grant Williams popping up to Bongi Minambi. We haven't seen too much of him with ball in hand so far tonight. I pass Curran Bosch. They've got some numbers here in the Sharks. They want to use them. Norte goes to Nakanya Nakanya goes to Butch Chamberlain. Butch Chamberlain has gotten it all wrong and lost the ball forward. Ignacio Briggs has hammered it downfield. Two knock-ons though. Apparently, going to go back for a scrum. First off black, so it will be a Benetton scrum there. And I work out why Butch Chamberlain didn't offload this. They had the numbers here, and it's just a very simple, draw and pass. Yeah, it's a great attack from Werner Benjamin. Why he's not offloading, I have no idea. He had Werner Koch on the outside. He had space in front of him. Pretty poor decision in the end, I think, by Buddha Chamberlain not to make that offload. Forehand in the air so far from the Sharks, none from Benton. Tells a bit of a story, doesn't it? Of a sloppy home side performance so far, and an impressive away side performance from the men in green and in white. I see myself a Benton shirt, so I quite like it. Right, last scrum we did see a penalty for Benton, but Canoni breaks off the back of it, runs into Buddha Chamberlain, who stands up well. Aldivanach will look to go to the boot. He's trying to put a bit of pressure on the ruck there, the breakdown. Aldivanach does go to the boot. Once again, not looking to keep into touch, and it will be once again competitive, and it falls back to Benton. Nicotera comes away with it, and he gets the offload as well. Sebastian Negri. So Benton up to their own 10-meter. Now comes Albanose. That left boot, it's actually been charged down, but it's fallen straight back into the hands of Federico Razzi. Takes it well. Now Albanose. Once he goes down the middle again, just outside 22, but Chambers, the Curran Bosch, and the Kanya Pippi's going back to add a bit of support as well. Curran Bosch looking for the counter attack. He is a very good counter attacking player when he can find a bit of space. This time, however, it's a good tackle from Michelle Lamora. Grant Williams goes to Ben Tapawai. Ben Tapawai goes to the Kanya popping it up to Kimoza Noche. Sharp sets up towards the 10-meter line. Now Grant Williams back inside to Benjamin Tuka. Pops it up to Oxen Chair. It's a good tackle. He's almost through the gap. The Chapato completes the tackle. Now Curran Bosch not too much on. Puts it high in the air. Werner Koch chasing. Be a good tester here. And has been allowed to bounce. And Thomas Albanose has got that very, very wrong. So it's going to run out of touch. It'll be a Benson line on the 10, on the 22. And for the first time, Curran Bosch going into the air, using that wind, which is, I think, is swirling at the top there. And Albanose has gotten that very wrong. He's been turned. and the ball is bounced and ran to touch the 22. So you can see a bit of a shake of the head from the scrum half, from the fly half rather. He wasn't happy with that. Now it's a good take there for Sebastian Negri at the front of the line out, but Gerban Koblar's got straight through and managed to grab the, I think it's Canoni was looking to break off the back. Now Lorenzo Canoni waiting for the ball. Runs into Thomas Satoy, good leg drive there as well. Getting just outside the 22. I think Duvenach will once again go towards the boot. Watson is going to chase this hard. And hangs up in the air once again. And Benetton has made a good effort, but he has lost it forward. A double knock on. It will be Benetton scrum though. So yeah, it's definitely windy at the moment. We've seen both sides now going to the boot. And I think Duvenach has nailed pretty much every single box kick so far. He's made it very competitive. Benetton went up. Comes off and he's trying to gather on the second attempt and just can't regather. Forced to Michel Mamara, who also then just drops it forward. So we will have a scrum. But this isn't better from a territory point of view from the Sharks in the last sort of 10 minutes. They've managed to sort of pin Benetton back, and Benetton all of a sudden finding it much harder for them to exit their 22. And a free kick now for Benetton. So a bit of an issue at the scrum here, and the referee Ben Whitehouse wants to have a word. Yeah, so a bit of telling off against Oxenshire, saying that he's trying to win a penalty by dropping his shoulder in. Bongi Minambi was also invited to that conversation. Right, Duvenach with ball in hand. Tell you what, I would have been tempted with another scrum. They won a penalty and a free kick from them. Now Thomas Albanose. And they're saying kick for distance. And he will. And he's fired that pretty far. And that needs to really sit down. That's a dreadful, dreadful kick from Thomas Albanose. And he's gifted them a scrum all the way back where the initial scrum was. Except it'll be a Sharks ball. That's really, really poor. To have all the conversations, to then sort of very lackadaisically just hammer it in behind and run out and touch out on the full there on the dead ball line. All of a sudden, the Sharks will have an attacking scrum inside Benetton territory, so that's a very, very big mistake coming from Thomas Albanose. Right, Grant Williams putting it under the end. Big shove there as well. Penalty this time for the Sharks. Grant Williams looking for take it quickly. Duvenach just getting in the way. They're trying to stop that. Sharks are better than the Lions. It's a very weird thing to come and put in here. And to be honest, I'm not convinced right now, given what I've seen in the early stages here. But sure, if that's the only thing you can hold on to at the moment, then go for it. I mean, Lions are being Leinster tomorrow, and you guys are trying to beat Benetton. I mean, come on. You know, there are levels to the game. Levels to the game. Right, Bongi Minambi, they're about 10 meters out. A bit more, probably about 15. Goes to Aaron Ange, the front of the line out. Nice safe option there. Looking to stay up the rolling more here. Needs to have good defense from Benetton. The line is complete now. Looking to shift towards the right-hand side. And they do shift. This is looking very promising. Canone is desperately hanging on. You're told he has to come out though. Penalty advantage here. Bent up wide. Shows goes himself. Good tackle by Riera. Falls right in front of the Katera, but the rematch cycle. Grant Williams going to the right-hand side. Cabran Clubber to Bongi Minambi. Bongi Minambi wants to go himself. Good tackle coming from him. Bongi pops out to Vincent Tuka, the try scorer. He's made hard in the tackle. It is still penalty advantage, I think. He's lost it forward as Oxen chair, and they'll go back for the original penalty. They're going to give another go. They'll just pop this over, I'm sure, and go back to the rolling more, which is very much working for the Sharks at the moment. Oh, this time's been stolen, and it's going to run out from the dead. I think it's come off of Benetton's hand, so it will be a scrum for the Sharks on the 5 meter. That's not the worst result, but it is a lost line out. Alright, so it will be a scrum for the Sharks on the 5 meter line. I said not the worst result at all. It will go down as a lost line out there. Right, what can the Sharks conjure up here? Singles and Noche will be the one to watch. They want to try and go pretty big. Grant Williams, you know, the reset here. But it's a dangerous prospect, Sharks scrum in this position. You've got Singles and Noche, who's very explosive with the back of the scrum. You've got Grant Williams, who's got plenty of acceleration, can always be very deadly as well in this position. Bit of a break in play here. A couple of running repairs here. So, yeah, it's been an interesting half because it's been a half of 2 halves, really. Benetton looked so good in that opening 10 minutes. The Sharks have had to sort of build a bit of an innings where they started off really poorly. That Vincent Tuka try was definitely a turning point for them, and they put a lot of pressure on the Benetton ever since, who still have the lead. The win prediction at the moment is sitting at 74% for the Sharks. Maybe it's a little bit harsh on Benetton, who you still lead by 7 points. But they've been knocking on the door for a while, and got another opportunity to try and make this count. This doesn't look good at all. There's going to be a change over here for Benetton. So we saw Sebastian Negu leave the field for a few minutes, and that's not what you really want to see. Philip Alongi will come on to the park, the tight head, and he's going to have a extended 50-minute shift. Wouldn't be what they would have liked at all. Pasquale leaving the field is a big blow for Benetton. And this is a big opportunity for the Sharks. I mean, they get to bring on Carly Sardi after Thomas Toy, so they've got so much depth in the front row. But this will play into the Sharks' hands, but so now it's about them really hammering them at the scrum and trying to tire them out as quickly as possible. But big opportunity once again from the Sharks. But a brand new prop on for Benetton. Looks pretty solid so far, the scrum. Now a bit of a second shove coming from the Sharks. A big shove coming from the Sharks. Big shove coming from the Sharks. Penalty advantage. Grant Williams. Oh, no. They're furious. They'll be furious. The penalty has been awarded. Grant Williams had actually dived over, but the whistle had gone before he did. Referee saying that the ball came off Benetton playing and wasn't allowed to play it. But a much better scrum this coming from the Sharks. Huge second shove. Chaparro under all sorts of pressure. And they're going to take a scrum over here. There's a bit of blood on the field, though, so I'll be surprised if they allow the scrum to happen before that's mopped up. Yeah, they can do that again. And a penalty try is definitely on the cards here for the Sharks. Benetton in a much better scrum. That's a huge scrum, though, coming in. Penalty advantage. Grant Williams goes over. As I said, he is so dangerous with the back of the scrum, and that's exactly what he needed. He just needed a platform. He just needs a bit of go forward board. Grant Williams, so elusive in that sort of situation. So quick off the mark. Such a tough customer to try and stop. And stop him. They did not. Sharks hit back, and Curran Bosch have an opportunity to now try and kick things level. Yeah, Grant Williams once again on the scoreboard. He scores a lot of tries. Grant Williams, very explosive, exciting scrum half. Desperately trying to get himself into that World Cup mix, I'm sure. And tries like that will go a long way towards doing that. Curran Bosch now. Once again, the ball being hulks. It is quite windy over there. And no issues from Curran Bosch as he does add the extras. And that'll be a bit worrying from Benetton in terms of how easy they were out-scrummed here. They had one early scrum penalties, which is frustrating from their perspective because they thought they might have thought that may have been a good avenue for them. But now all of a sudden, under a lot of pressure come the scrum time. And if they don't sort that out, that's going to be a very big platform for the Sharks. They're going to use it all day, aren't they? Right, deep restart. Oh, he's allowed that to bounce. Croplo's gotten that wrong. And it will be a Sharks line just outside 22. And tails a kick off there for Thomas Albanors. Doing all or nothing. Bit of a mercurial fly half. Likes to try different things. Likes to live on the edge a little bit. When things go well, things can go very well for him. But when things go badly, they can also go pretty badly. Curran Cobbler popping up for Grant Williams. Grant Williams going to Curran Bosch. Curran Bosch launched it high in the air. It's pretty deep though. Rena Benjamin does very well underneath it. Popping up to Marcus Watson. Does bounce a bit more, but he does manage to pick it up. Nice steps inside. Bit tackle coming from Sia Khaleesi. So Benetton back inside Sharks territory. Well, just outside really. Good carry there. Canone. On the halfway line, yeah, Benetton. Albanors. It's turnover ball there from the Sharks. Very good work there from Vincent Tsuka. Penalty advantage as well, I think. Or knock-on advantage, probably. Now back to Curran Bosch. Curran Bosch throwing a bit of space behind. He's gone very low. Very good take. By Padovani. Padovani chips it ahead himself. And there's turn Curran Bosch slightly. Curran Bosch looking for the clearance. Does find it. It's a very big kick from Curran Bosch. Right, let's see. But say Sharks trying to help the Lions qualify. They need to keep losing more and more. Benetton on streets ahead of the Sharks. Big saying Sharks now they're using their power correctly. Could you see Grant Williams place Radok if Grant fixes kicking? No, I don't think so. I think they really do rate Kubos Radok. And they've conceded a free kick here at the Sharks at the line, which is pretty annoying from them. So a penalty actually. Rudolph said just shooting. What is more or less the breakdown? The Benetton came out firing, scored 2 very good tries. Since then, the Sharks have sort of arm wrestled their way back into proceedings. They just had a very good try with 2 very powerful scrums, and then Grant Williams coming off the back of it. That's a phenomenal kick from Thomas Albanors. Goodness me, he's put Benetton about 10 meters out here. So Benetton have been under the caution in the last couple of last sort of 10 to 15 minutes. We have an opportunity before half time, try and get back in the lead. 4 minutes to go. As I said, it's been a pretty strange half. Benetton very much started very well, but then have allowed the Sharks to come back into the game. Good line out there as well. Trying to get the ball back towards Nicotera though. And the ball pops out to Duvenacher. He goes to Riera. He's had a bright game with the ball in hand. And Chaparro's lost the ball, but and forward, so it will be turnover ball. Yeah, and that's just frustrating. First opportunity in a while there for Benetton to try and get something going. So to knock that on is pretty poor, it must be said. Yeah, I like that from the referee trying to get off, saying there's no injuries, no need for them to be on. Trying to slow the game down. We are trying to sort of, improve the amount, the time it takes for games. And this game's starting at half past, so it's about 45 minutes in since kickoff. We have had an injury. So, yeah, I don't think it's, 43 minutes to play. 37 minutes is not too bad, but this is what we're trying to sort of up, is to make sure that that games don't take too long. Good scrum this from the Sharks. Another good scrum. Penalty advantage as well. Grant Williams breaking outside. He's got lots of numbers. Grant Williams. Someone needs to make a tackle. Puts in the kicking behind from a Pimpy, and Reynolds Benjamin will run this out. It's a very good exit from the Sharks. They've got themselves all the way up towards Benetton's 10-meter line. And that's just the prowess of Grant Williams, who picked up and went, and nobody really wants to tackle him. Just sort of moving inside, outside, then putting the kick in behind, and Ted's kick behind. The only thing that Reynolds Benjamin could do was just carry it out. Pimpy was lurking. You don't want to allow him a half a chance. And now all of a sudden the Sharks, with less than 2 minutes to go, will have an opportunity to try and score some points before half time. Maybe even going with a lead. Aaron Andrews, front of the line, goes to Lisi. Grant Williams, bent up wide, pretty flat. Popping up to Curran Bosch. Good tackle coming from Ignatius, breaks ball and all as well. I think he's actually ripped in the tackle. He has ripped in the tackle. That's brilliantly worked. Lamara putting the ball outside Nicotera. Riera now to Nicola Canoni. Good tackle coming eventually from Vincent Tuca. It was a good hit from him. Benetton now back in the Sharks territory. They're going on the blind side. Good hands, good hands. Reynolds Benson's got the outside. And the ball tries to chip in and it comes off the head of Lacanya and will go out for a Benetton line out. Shout out to Ignacio Brex. I think he's a player. I mean, he's been around the block for a long time, but he's playing such good rugby at the moment. That tackle was absolutely perfect. Goes in, makes the tackle, grabs the ball in the process, rips it as he's going down. Sharks conceded 5 turnovers to Benetton's 4. So ball retention hasn't been the best for the Sharks. Definitely an element of the game they're going to have to try and fix. So less than a minute to go. Benetton will have the last, will likely have the last say of the half. Right, they go to the Canoni at the front of the line. Pops down to Duvenacher. Duvenacher goes to Riera at first receiver. Good carry there from Michelle Lamora. Quick ball there to Duvenacher to Nicotera, who's lost the ball in contact, knock on, and it will be a scrum. It's been sloppy. It's what they were so good at in the beginning of the game is they were so clinical, Benson. They've just become very sloppy in the last sort of 10 minutes. And they've had opportunities in the last 5 minutes, actually, to try and carve out an opportunity. And just that, the ball being dislodged by Kanyam as he's going down. So it's intelligent work done by the outside centre. Seems to be going into the game a little bit. So people talking about the fact he hasn't been at his best and he needs to try and sort of improve. Well, he has had a couple of decent touches in the last sort of 20 minutes. So hopefully that's a sign of him getting back to his best. The hooter has gone. Interesting to see if the Sharks will have a go here or whether it'll just be a case of get the ball under the feet and kick it out. Another big hit there from the Sharks, and the Benetton scrum, and a little bit of pressure there. They're holding up a while. There comes the second shove. And there's the penalty advantage as well. Grant Williams going to Curran Bosch. Curran Bosch going to Kanya. I'm not the best pass, but Kanya comes in behind Buddha Chamberlain. Buddha Chamberlain's right there. Oh, I can't make it the pickup though. We'll go back for the penalty. And this is now becoming a bit of formality. Every single time the Sharks get a scrum, they are winning a penalty. And Benetton are going to try and make a change. I don't know what they can change. But first of all, they need to get to half time. But this is going to be a very worrying sign for the Benetton coach. The fact that they are getting so much success out of the scrums. We've had over 100 votes. I'm going to end the poll there. Most people are reckoning the Sharks will get the win with 79% of the votes of 101 votes. Curran Bosch trying to find a decent kick so that the Sharks can have another go before half time. Right, so Benetton now had an opportunity to try and score a try for half time. Now they're going to have to try and defend and make sure they don't go in behind. Get a higher edge in front of the line. Once again, Siklis. This time he goes down as the blind side. Grant Williams going to Sukuboza Noche. Noche gets away from one. He's put through the gap here. Sukuboza Noche. Tackle comes eventually from, I think it's Padavani, but the Sharks all of a sudden on the doorstep here. Ball pops out towards Grant Williams. Not too many options. Goes to Sia Khaleesi. Good tackle being made on him, but he managed to get the offload to Kuban Krobler, who offloads to Makazuma Pimpy. Pimpy sees a bit of a half gap opening up. It's eventually closed. Pretty desperate defense in the end there. Sharks 10 meters out. Thomas Toy first to popping up to Curran Bosch. Curran Bosch spinning away from one, spins away from two. Penalty advantage, I think, for offside. Interesting to see what the Sharks will do. They could just take the 3 points here and get into half time with a lead. Thomas Toy to Krobler to Makazuma Pimpy. But Pimpy to Sia Khaleesi left it behind. Sikamoza Noche has picked it up. It didn't go forward, so it'll go back for the penalty. Decisions here for the Sharks. Yeah, bless me. Yeah, they're going to call for the scrum. And that's, the right call at the end of the day. They're under a lot of pressure here at the scrum time. And Benetton will be a bit worried over here because if this is a scrum like we've seen in the last couple, this could very easily become a penalty. Penalty try could be on the cards. Because ever since that the replacement of Alongi on for Pasquale, it's been pretty one-way traffic as far as the scrum is concerned. Matty Jones says, watching the UK, Butch says ref is helping the Sharks. Not entirely convinced about that. Yapino Kier is backing the Sharks. You see a big substitution coming there. Both Giacomo Nicotera and Naotela Shapara have been substitutes. Thomas Gallo on and Siamari on for this final scrum. So we're replacing both. We've got a brand new front row. Interesting to speak of Nicotera. I think it's a bit of a strange decision. Through having quite a good game in the loose. But I think Benetton at the scrum time, I'm so desperate for something to change that they have made the full front row replacement. Holding steady so far. So Thomas Gallo doing a good job. But there comes the second shove. And Grant Williams going himself. Tackle coming across, I think it's from Devil Duvenarker's opposite number. Vincent Tuka picking it up and being driven back. Good defense this from Benetton. Longi Manami pick up and go. Not gaining any advantage. Sigmo's Noche. And he's falling right in front. But good breakdown work there. Now he throws the pass out wide. Curran Bosch. He comes off the chest of Padavani. And there's an knock-on. That'll be the end of the half. The whistle does go right half time and nothing separating the two sides. 14 points apiece at half time. The Sharks got off really slowly and Benetton ordered to fly. They've clawed their way back in and now very much looking like the dominant side so far. The question is, can they keep this up after half time? We will see what happens then. Please do smash a like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. And we'll see you guys in a few minutes. All right, and we are back for the second half. Sharks versus Benetton, 14 points apiece as it stands. Sharks having to come back from 14-0 to score a couple of points towards. So it wasn't the dream start to proceedings in the beginning of the match. Sharks under a lot of pressure early on, and they have, however, hung on well, and hopefully, for their sake, they'll start quite well where they left off. So Oxenchair having a conversation with the referee, probably quite an important one that to have. They've got so much upper hand with the scrums all of a sudden that if they can keep that sort of avenue, then I think they could very much punish Benetton. Benetton did sub their entire front row on the replacement front row, so it is a new front row on for the men from Italy. We're interested to see if that does make much of a difference or whether they'll still struggle come scrum time. Kern Bosch and the Sharks was playing with the wind behind them. I think it is. It should be now. Well, from the looks of the breeze there, yeah, it does look like it is blowing from behind them. And we've got the whistle, and players back underway. Kern Bosch going to the left-hand side there. It's a pretty good kick-off as well. Makazona Pimpi was there. He has knocked it forward, but did manage to compete there. Sebastian Negri coming away with it. So Benetton do have the ball. Now, Dionaka lifts it, and it's right up against touchdown. Buddha Chambers hammered in the tackle. Great chase there by Marcus Smith and Marcus Watson rather. And he almost managed to get his hands on it. It was a really good chase there from the wing. Turning the ball there, and Oxen Chair made hard in the tackle. Had some support from Bongi and Manambi. Grant Williams now going high in the air. The test for Padavani. Makazona Pimpi is there making a menace of himself and does come away with the ball. He's been very good under the high ball tonight. Has Makazona Pimpi. Ball popped up for Grant Williams and Bongi Manambi comes away with it. Runs on the inside, slightly isolated, but support does come. Bit of a hospital pass there from Marks and Chair. Thomas Toy taking it, giving it to Kern Bosch. Kern Bosch to Ben Tapawai. Ben Tapawai going to Lakanya Am. There is some space out wide. Desperate cover defense. Bernard Cock up against Rainer Smith rather, who does make the tackle. And then Nature breaks to stay down after the tackle, which would be a big blow if he can't continue. He's been very good for Ben Thomas. Very good ball attention from the Sharks. Good offloads now. Buddha Chamberlain now going to Makazona Pimpi. It's a 3-on-1 situation. It has to be a try. Surely it has to be a try. Sia Khaleesi. It is a try. He goes over. That's the perfect start from the Sharks. Far too good for Benetton. Going from one coast to coast, one side to the next side. Running the hands. Offloads there. Creating so much space. And bang. That's how to start a half. They conceded a try within the first 2 minutes in the first half. They now scored a try within the first 2 minutes of the second half. And this is, as I said, all just offload, yeah, show and go, draw and pass, good tackle coming in, yeah, be a bit concerning while the Nature breaks, and then once again, Mapimpi just drifting towards the side, Sia Khaleesi, Bongi Manambi finding themselves on the wing, no defenders ahead of them, they're just, yeah, and that's just a good offload, which has sucked all the Benetton players into the middle of the park, and then all they have to do is draw and pass, and they're over, and they are over. So 19 points to 14 with the kick to come. Right, Kern Bosch, probably his toughest kick of the evening so far. And that's going to turn them beautifully. So he will raise the flags. Their Sharks, 3 tries. One more try for the bonus point, which will be quite important. More importantly, they are in the lead for the first time of the game. And let's see, acknowledged from the coaching staff. That's the perfect start. Thomas Albanose goes pretty low. And straight to Kimozanoche, who was quick to it. And the X22, which means that Grant Williams will be able to find touch. Kern Bosch does go to the boot. And this is drifting towards the side. This is going to be out in the full, you know. That's a really big mistake from Kern Bosch. And you can see the grimace in his face. He knows he's made a big mistake there. And all he's done is he's allowed Benetton to come back into the 22 with a scrum, or with a line out. So it'll be an attacking opportunity for Benetton to try and hit back. Big Sia Khaleesi, man, when the Sharks want to play a boy, can they play? I think that's the frustration, is that, you know, they have moments all the time. You know, sometimes, you know, you can't just play in moments. You've got to actually have a bit of a steady game plan, which they just don't really have at the moment. Bit of a messy line that from Benetton has parked back to Jean-Elaire Scott, who's on the park, by the way. Buddha Chamberlain now. Charles looking to run from the 22. Bent up wide. Big cover defense needed. Chabaks on the Pimpy. Padavani getting across there. The Pimpy puts it up to the boot. Reda Smith is desperately trying to get back. Picks it up very, very well. But Max on the Pimpy has actually burgled it. So it'll be turnover ball. It is the Sharks ball just outside the 22 on the left-hand side. Grant Williams now going to Bent up wide. First receiver going to Benjamin Tuka. He got away from one and he's throwing the chicken wing pass straight into Michelle Lamare, his opposite number. Turnover ball now. Thomas Albanose. There's nobody back for the Sharks. So he hammers it down the middle of the park. Taking a while for Ben's chase line to appear. And Buddha Chamberlain will have plenty of time to find his clearance. And he will find touch just inside Sharks territory by the halfway line. Pretty end-to-end stuff there. And yeah, all of a sudden the Sharks playing with a bit of confidence, looking to run outside their own 22. And it was good work here from Pimpy showing his pace there and then just dabbing it ahead. It was a fantastic piece of skill there from Reda Smith. And Pimpy gets it there very quickly, burgles the ball, and then just a bit of a loose pass coming from Vincent Tuka, which is where the turnover came. So line up now for Mai. He came on just for half time. Good take there from from Federico Raza. Not the best pass to Riera, but a good take from him. Then Shabrex Albanose on the bounce there to Padavani. Padavani now stepping inside, being brought down by Pimpy. Lakanya Am's over that ball. And Lakanya Am has won a penalty. And the Sharks all of a sudden just look so much more up for it. They're tackling well, they're at the breakdown, they're shifting across. Everything that we could have criticized them for in the opening 50 minutes, they're doing very well now here. It looks like a whole different Sharks side. I'm not quite sure what Neil Powell had to say at half time, but it's certainly working. Good kick from Curran Boss. An opportunity here for the Sharks trying to score their fourth and bonus point try. Over there in the flash. And ironically, we were talking a couple of people saying earlier that the Kanyam hasn't looked close to his best yet. Another replacement, by the way. Suddenly got busy as replaced Deval Duvanaka. So looking to inject a bit of pace into the game here. The Benetton captain does depart. Good take there from Cabran Krobler. Looking for the rolling ball once again. Another shot. So going to really try and bully this Benetton pack. And they have done it quite well so far this game. And it's looking rolling more as well. Shifts towards the right-hand side. Bongi Benambi controlling things at the back. But a penalty for Benetton this time. Just taking the man out of the maul. So it's against Cabran Krobler. So it's a big let-off there for Benetton. You can see Nasher Breaks going to a couple of players. Telling them to calm down, I think. And just to sort of settle into the half. They are only one try behind, so still very much in the game, but can't afford to go 2 tries behind because then all of a sudden you're chasing quite a lot. Yeah, I see Cabran Krobler there just ripping Federico Raza off the maul, which is not allowed to do. So Benetton still inside their own half. It's a good take from Raza, who's the man who has won the penalty. Looking for the rolling maul here. Sandikar Bisley's coming to fetch the ball. They are making a bit of progress though. Now got busy right up against touchline. Does go to touch. So we're right up against touchline. It's allowed to bounce. Thomas Albanose comes away with it. He's still going, Thomas Albanose. He's still going inside the 22. Good pick up as well from Lorenzo Canoni. Very intelligent that from the 8th man. Penalty advantage as well for Bent up wide. And it's come straight through as well. So penalty for Benetton. Asanda got busy, wants to take it quickly, doesn't. I thought he had taken it quickly, and the referee says no. But this is a real opportunity for Benetton. They ride about 5 meters out. What a kick that was from Asanda got busy. Really poor from the Pimpy to let it bounce. Albanose on it like a flash, and it was almost away. Lorenzo Canoni as well, doing very well to pick up and go because there was very little support. And they're going to go to the corner here, or Benetton. So an opportunity here for the rolling maul. Didn't look terrible, actually. Looked pretty well set. They hadn't managed to get it. That's a pretty gentle kick, though. I mean, how you don't get to 5 meters from that position. Why don't you just let somebody with the right foot? Why don't you just let Rena Smith, who's right-footed, take that? And this is Bent up wide. They never release, and hands beyond the ball as well. So opportunity up for Benetton. They're 10 meters out. They go short though. Oh, almost a variation. They left the ball behind. There's a turnover ball. Bongi Manami coming away with it, giving it to Laviskatni. Now out towards Lakanyan. They're looking to run out their own 22. Lakanyan comes back on the inside, getting out towards the 22. So Sharks are trying to run from the 22. Grant Williams now going to Curran Bosch, who will clear with the boot. Pretty good exit, it must be said, from the Sharks. But really poor from Benetton. It was a nice idea to try the variation, just not coming off at all. And now one of the Benetton players is down with an injury, so we'll have a break in play here. I think the medic could be sitting for a replacement there, actually. I think it's Michelle Morrow who's down. Right, so while we're having the break, I want to have a big shout out to BetCoza, who are currently powering the stream. They are our official betting partners, as well as our rugby partners. And do yourself a favor, go and get yourself a BetCoza account. There's the link in the description. And you can get a bonus from your first deposit. Now, more importantly, on Thursdays, when we do our fan forum, we give out, we've got Chris, who's our resident betting specialist, and he gives out one or two suggested bets. And we're doing very well at the moment. I think we're on a 5-2 streak. We gave 2 accumulators for this weekend, and they're both looking pretty good to hit. If Gloucester win tonight, then the one will win, and if the Bulls win by 10.5 tomorrow, then the second one will win. And I think it'll be, first odds were about 2.4, and the second odds were about 5.4. So 2 pretty good bets that are looking to land, and that's all done by BetCodes and stuff like that. So go get yourself a BetCodes account, go and put some deposit a bit of money, and then maybe you can just follow the Forever Sports betting segment on the Thursdays. That's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. I'm going with it to see what we can do, and we are doing pretty well. So go and get yourself a BetCodes account and join in the fun. Right, it will be a line-out here for Benetton. They're still inside Sharks territory, but they'll know they need to score next, so they're going to try and stay in this game. Good line though. Flat from got busy. Riera goes to Michelle Lamori, who's okay to continue. Now that's a nice carry there from the first carry off from him. Good quick ball there from got busy. But it's been robbed there. The Colonial's been pickpocketed by Pimpy. Turnovers all of a sudden creeping into Benetton game. Their ball retention was very good in the first half, not been particularly good in the last sort of half an hour. And Vincent Chatuka this time carrying into touch. Grant Williams looking down the blind side. Now decides to go the other way. Calls to use it. Pops it up to Oxen Chair. Bit of a standing start for Retejo Baditswe. Now Grant Williams will look to the box kick. And not too much on, so he pumps it downfield and Reyna Smith underneath it. He'll be looking for a bit of a counter. Puts it high in the air for himself to chase. And it's going towards the left. It's good bounce. He's actually picked it up brilliantly. And he's put in the kicking behind. He's going to gather. They're going to go over. Reyna Smith. That is absolutely brilliant. It'll be Riera who goes over. Reyna Smith take a bow. Kick, chase, regather. Pass out with a little go ahead for Riera. And there was just no Sharks players anywhere near them. Benetton are over. Jacques Riera with his 4th career try. Benetton right back in it. Look at this. Brilliant from Brandon Smith. Kicks and chases himself, and Buddha Chamberlain, must admit, just so nowhere at the moment there. And then they're going behind. Brendan Cocker drifts inside, so a lot of space out wide. And Riera, who had Watson behind him. What a great little kicking behind there from Brandon Smith. What an intervention. Just everything was perfect there. The gather, the kick, the regather, the grubber in behind. That is absolutely brilliant from the Benetton fullback. And all of a sudden, Thomas Albanose, which is not the easiest kick, but he'll have an opportunity to try and level the scores once again, and this game is far, far, far from over. So in that case, I want to put in a poll, and what's the poll going to be? Will the Sharks hang on to win? Simple yes or no question. I want you to go and answer that in the comments over there. Also, I want to know where you guys are watching from. Do you have any new people over here? We're trying to get some more subscribers going. Trying to push for. Trying to break that 25,000 barrier. That is our big sort of. It's going to sneak in. It is going to sneak in from the looks of it, I think. No, off the post, off the upright. Right, so the Sharks will maintain their lead. Just 2 points, though, after that try. And also get a replacement in the front row. I think Nsuka, Uno, and Carlisari have come to the park. Yeah, so we've got a poll running in there. Please just smash like on the video, by the way. I think it's pretty unacceptable. There are 81 people watching, and yet only 10, 16 likes. You know, there's rookie numbers. Try and pump that up to at least 40 likes. People, just half of you have to like it. If all of you guys liked it, we could go up to 80 likes. I mean, how cool would that be? But Dylan's saying Sharks are really taking the supporters' money, likely. They just push off, don't they, every now and again? Good restart, that is, and well held on by Sebastian Negu. He's been very good under the restart. Now he's basically decided to almost pick up Maximum Pimpy and try and take him with me, eventually getting him down to the ground. Sia Khaleesi coming through an offside position and a penalty there. Thought the ball was out and I thought he could play it. Not the case, and he is penalised for it. Now, so it's against Sia Khaleesi, the captain. Had a pretty good game so far, has Sia. Playing his best rugby of his career at the moment, isn't he? But Benetton now, a couple of back-to-back penalties, couple of sort of growing into the half a little bit more. After you can see in that early try trail, about just 2 points. So still very open as this game. They got Nicola Canoni. Got busy. He's very much putting it on the front foot, though. Pretty good carry there from Lorenzo Canoni. We've seen that combination with Riera and quite a lot so far. Now sniping is Alessandro Garbizzi. Exciting young scrum off. He has played with his brother at international level. Paolo Garbizzi, who plays rugby now at Montpellier. Big counter-back coming into the Sharks. They've got to go and get this out here, Benton, or it will be turnover ball. It is turnover ball. Sia Khaleesi is the one that grabs it. Alessandro Garbizzi bringing him down. Sharks up to the 10-meter line. Tukutunu. Well, look at that for a pass from the loose end. Now looking to shift it towards the left-hand side. Tapawai goes to Buddha Chamberlain. Buddha Chamberlain puts the grabber in behind for Grant Williams to chase. And I'll tell you what, this could be very good for Grant Williams. He's rounded Rayner Smith. He's got so much pace. He's absolutely electric. And he's gone over for a second of the game. Take a bow, Grant Williams. Such an intelligent option there from Buddha Chamberlain. He knew, I think Grant Williams was calling for it. I think he's always in the back himself. One of the fastest players in World Rugby at the moment, Grant Williams. Big tackle there, big counter, turnover ball. They shift it towards the left. Ben Tapawai finding Buddha Chamberlain, who sees the space in behind, puts in the grabber. Rayner Smith is back there, but as soon as Grant Williams picks up and decides to round him, he's got no chance. He's just too quick. He is far too quick. A try against Toulouse last weekend. He's got 2 tonight. Grant Williams, I tell you what, he is knocking on the door for Springbok Rugby. In fact, this match, he's knocking the door down. And the Sharks will be looking to restore, they restored that 7-point lead. I'm looking to try and make it a 9-point lead now. Cohen Bosch, he's kicked very well so far this evening. And that is the bonus point try for the Sharks. It's a pretty important bonus point try in the context of that top 8 race. Another great kick there from Cohen Bosch. He's 4 from 4. The Sharks moved 28 points to 19. And that's a bit of a sucker punch to Benton, who are growing into the game. A bit of a counter-attack try. They are pretty good in the counter-attack, must be said. When you've got players like, Grant Williams, Cohen Bosch as well, is a very good counter-attacking player. And it's just so well for Grant Williams. He's just so quick, isn't he? He's absolutely rapid. Right, restart for Benton going to the right side. Jacob Umaga on for Rayner Smith. That was his last involvement. If you're looking to watch this, it's not being shown on a free-to-air broadcaster, but you can watch it on URC TV. If you want to go get my recommendation would be get ExpressVPN, and which is the link in the description. And then you can go to connect like an island server, for example, and you can watch on URC TV or a USA server. Tomorrow, however, all 3 South African games are on a free-to-air broadcaster. So if you go and get ExpressVPN, you'll be able to watch the Bulls game, the Lions game, as well as the Stormers game on a free-to-air broadcaster. 2 games being shown on TG4 and 1 on RTE2. You don't even have to sign up, no credit card deals or anything like that for those channels. Just get yourself ExpressVPN. By the way, you'll be able to watch the entire Rugby World Cup for free with ExpressVPN as well. Ignacio breaks to the back of that line out. Good carry from him. Now down the right-hand side, Riera going to Padovani. He steps inside and just sort of twists. So Benetton now looking to try and hit back. Federico Rassa hit hard in the tackle by Siklis, but still working really hard to make sure he gets over the advantage line. Sandra got busy. Good hands this. Breaks. Good hands this from Kanoni. He finds Watson. Watson down the side. He got the pace. Cuts inside. Desperate tackle from Tutuka. And then Maxima Pimpy completing. But Benetton up until inside the 22. Got busy. It was a very good take as well from Mali on the ground. Sandra got busy. It added a lot of impetus to this event. A good offload to Michelle Lamara from Thomas Albanor. Breaks. Ball over the top. It goes straight into the hands of Padovani. He's got one man to beat. Steps inside. He's over. Benetton are over. Bonus try. Back in the game. I tell you what, if you want an entertainment, you're going to get it. Because this has been an absolute try fest. 28 points, 24 with the kick to come. What a pass over the top there from Thomas Albanor. Yes, he's still playing due to Padovani. He stepped inside. And he's taken Sikimoza with him over the try line. Benetton hit back. And this is becoming a bit of a tennis match in terms of 1-1-1. And I think Onation Breaks actually the one with a great pass at the top there. Mapimpi on the inside. He had to score. He had three Benetton players. Steps inside Mapimpi. Intuko Glun was the one that's come across. Yeah, it's pretty poor to 10 for Maximum Mapimpi. He gets stepped inside very easily. Very, very good kick there from Albanor. So it returns to a 2-point game, 4 tries apiece. Well, as I said, from a neutral perspective, what a game. From a Sharks perspective, I think they'll be panicking a little bit because this game is far, far, far from over. 28 points, 26, with 21 minutes to go. What an encounter we have seen down in Hollywood Bets Kings Park. Great pass at the top. As I've been saying, how Ignacio Breaks has been growing as a player. One of my favorite players to watch at the moment. Restart, and it's gone straight through their hands. I think it's Manuel Giuliani's just come on. That's a horrible mistake. The worst mistake to make. Honestly, as a coach, I reckon that's been one of the worst things to watch. You've just scored a try. You scored 7 points. You're back in the game, and it's gone straight through the arms of Manuel Giuliani, who's just come on to replace student Sebastian Negri, who has gone off. A couple other replacements as well. As I said, Rainer Smith off, Jacob Umaga on. And for the Sharks, a new front row as Kieran from Furin takes the park. He has replaced Bongi Manambi. So two on both new front rows or replacement front rows on for both sides. This will be the first scrum with both the new front rows. Kieran Furin's a good hooker. I rate him quite a lot actually. Vic said the Sharks know how to score tries. They also know how to concede tries. Didn't say Sharks can never just keep the opposition far away. 100%. I think they are very much guilty of not seeing off teams. Very good scrum there. Sikimoza Noche breaks off the back. He's going on a marauding run. Gets away from one. Eventually brought down. Grant Williams now popping up to Brian Krobler. You have to be careful not to run into Vincent Stuka, was lurking in front of him. Now on Stuka, such a good ball carrier. Looking to be, and he's driven back by Manuel Giuliani. Good tackle from him. Grant Williams popping it up. We're going south actually. And Benetton will be aware of the threat, bringing him down well as well. Now slow ball this. Lakanya popping it up to Kieran from Furin, his first carry of the day. Doesn't make too many yards. And Michelle Lamar thought about having a go there. Vincent Tuka now. Michelle Lamar lurking around there trying to get that jackal in. Sikimoza Noche going himself. So far decent defense here. Very good defense. They're going to their 9th phase. Now Williams goes to bent up a while. They've got numbers out. Jalakanya goes to Makaluma Pimpi, who will just walk it in. Must say that's pretty poor from Benetton. It's good hands from the Sharks, but I mean they had so much time to set the defense up. For that to have been that easy is pretty poor in the end. And once again, the try fest does continue. No beer. Yeah, I'm a little bit sick, I must admit. Coming off the back of a cold, so just sticking to the water tonight. Hopefully, be having back on the beer next weekend. Yeah, you can probably hear I'm a little bit nasally. You can probably must. I might sound absolutely horrendous. So I apologize if I'm putting you guys through the most here. But yeah, have been the change of weather up here in Gauteng has hammered me pretty badly. But we will be back on the beers very soon. Don't you stress. JD says I rate Van very highly. Yeah, as well. Yeah, between load shedding, change of weather, it's not having a good time. Water issues up here in Joburg. We're struggling out here. It's a struggle out here. But the good news is that the line's going to be lesser tomorrow, which is going to be phenomenal, and that's going to make my weekend. So I'm not too many complaints. But the Lions have been robbed. Ref is playing into the Sharks' hands. I think that's a bit of a stretch. Hope you feel better. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's just the standard. Go down a couple of days, and we'll be all good. I hate being sick. It's so frustrating. I just can't do anything. I want to go out and run. I want to go play sport, and you're just like, nah. Bosch push, and then the problem is you've got all the Easter chocolates. You're kind of just lying in bed eating chocolate, which is not the worst thing in the world. But yeah, I'm going to the beach in 2 weeks, and the beach body, well, I wouldn't say it's quite ready, but hey, at the end of the day, this rig is basically the definition of peak athleticism. So why would you want to change it? Anyway, Sharks 33 points, 26. The misconversion, though, meaning that it is still a 7-point game. So a converted try Benetton, which you wouldn't put it past them, would put them back level with 17 minutes to go. I mean, as I said, who knows where this is going to, what way this is going to go. We did ask earlier, will the Sharks hang on to win? 54 votes have come in, and they're all reckoning that they will. And hang on, I think is a pretty good way of putting it, because, yeah, they have just scored a try, but you kind of also get the feeling that they could very well concede one. Thomas Almanors, very good take from him, getting the offload to Busy to Watson. Step inside, gets out to the 22. Good carry from him and presents the ball well to Busy. Albanose popping up to Nicolo Canone. No clear release from Kieran from Furin. But no penalty advantage. I think Busy digging for the ball, giving it across to Ignatius Brix, who had that brilliant try assist earlier. Now it's a bit of an injured player, so we're going to have to stop. We're going to have to come to a scrum. Yeah, Benson player down, and then we're going to run into him. So the referee has stopped play. We'll resume with the scrum. Right, 16 minutes left. Well, 15 minutes and 10 seconds. So plenty of time for Benton to score points. They will have a scrum here in a pretty good position. Grant Williams receiving a bit of treatment. Wouldn't be surprised if we do see him get replaced in the next couple of minutes, although he is playing so well, he might just play the full 80. JD saying, Sharks defense is concerned. Your thoughts? Yeah, it's an interesting one because I think it's a case of the reason I'm saying it's interesting because there was a big conversation happening, and they're saying that you've got Joey Mangala at the franchise, who is one of the top defense coaches in the country, but not working with the Sharks URC defense because he's the Currie Cup coach at the moment. So it's an interesting situation because the defense is definitely an issue. There's no doubt about that. You've got one of the best defensive coaches in your system, but they rate him as a future head coach. They're trying to give him head coach experience, and you wonder where is the value? Is the value in him getting that experience at Currie Cup, or should he be working with the URC side and making sure their defense is a lot better? I don't think there's a clear answer, to be honest. But Dylan saying to see this many tries against Benetton Asia Sharks, I'm losing my faith in them. Look, Benetton are a good side. So I wouldn't say there's too much shame in conceding tries against them. They are a very good side. But I think for me it's the manner in which the tries have been scored, and there just seems to be a bit of a lack there of defensive system. Circulisi off the park, by the way. Pacey Boutelezi has replaced him. Let's see, I think he is on the flank. I think Sigmund Noche will remain at the back of the scrum. And Thacker Abrams on for Buddha Chamberlain as well. So Corononi comes with the back of the scrum. He's going to have a bit of a marauding run and just Laviscalchi does well to get across there because I don't think Kieran Bosch is too keen on that. Good hands this left from Benetton. The ball does go loose. Ball up to Michelle Morrow. Ball out top to Watson. Watson steps to the side. Werner Koch will complete the tackle, but this is good for Benetton. Got busy to Nicola Canoni, who didn't have too much intent in that carry, which is strange from him. Bit of a half pass there from the Sandra got busy, and I think a knock on coming from Benetton. No, they still have possession here. Now Marcus and Non on the park as well, by the way. Now Thomas Gallo carrying strongly. This is good from Benetton going through the phases here. Good tackle there from Ntuku, but good ball retention. Now Nesha breaks, puts his head down, runs into his opposite number, Lakanya. Now very good carry that from Giuliani. Thomas Gallo on the gap. And he's lost the ball forward. Right, here we go. Could be a counter-attack here. Mapimpi's going inside. Ignacio breaks. He goes to Sikabos and Noche. We'll give it to Taki Abrams and they should be away. Oh no, it's been brilliantly done. It's Thomas Albanose who's gotten up. Oh, now it's pulling back to Mapimpi. Oh, he's going to go over. Oh, that is absolutely bizarre. Who would have thought? Who would have thought Mapimpi's gone over? I mean, that is absolutely incredible. I mean, in terms of the way, I mean, how that just changed. It looked like they were away. They needed one offload. Taki Abrams. Thomas Albanose gets there, manages to smack it down. Regathers, ball pops up back to Mapimpi, who then turns around, got nobody ahead of him. He does so well as Albanose, and then he decides to try and pop it up, and Mapimpi very quickly gets his hand up, pops into his hand, and says, "Thank you very much," and he goes over. I mean, jeepers, that's one of the stranger trials you'll see out there, but that should be it. And look what it means to Sia Khaleesi. They know that that's the big try they needed. That's the one that should put Benton to bed. End-to-end stuff. When you think that Benton were literally 2-3 meters. In fact, Thomas Gallo made that break, was just a few meters short. So to have gone from almost conceding when they could have been level to now hitting what could be the killer blow. It's actually well done by the Sharks. And as I said, the counter-attacking is very good from them, but they've always been a good counter-attacking side, and Neil Powell, being from the sevens background, I think will keep that into their system. Man of the match. I'll tell you what, somebody was calling out Mapimpi. He's been full of work this evening. I think Lakanya Arms had a good game as well. Van Cobbler's got through a lot of work. Grant Williams scored 2 tries, so I think he's probably the leading candidate. In fact, we can actually do a bit of a poll there. Should we give me some nominations, people? Let's do a poll for man of the match. I know it's 12 minutes to go. But, yeah, let's do it. Give me some nominations for man of the match. Personally, I think Mapimpi could be in there. I think Grant Williams could be in there. I thought Sia Khaleesi had a good game. Who else has played well? Kieran Bosch hasn't been bad. Kicked pretty well. Ignacio Brex has been good for Benetton. Sebastian Negri's been good. And the Pesci Boutelai's under a lot of pressure from the kickoff there. Right, so JJ's going with Grant there for man of the match. I'm going to start prepping this poll. Who is your man of the match? I've got Grant Williams so far. We've got a nomination for Sia Khaleesi, so I'll throw Sia Khaleesi in there. Cameron Wright onto the park, by the way, so Grant Williams is off. Any other nominations? I'd ideally like to have 4. We can deal with 3, but 2 is too few. Right, Benton, they're not done yet. They're not done yet. Good offload. Oh, straight through the middle. Straight through the middle. He's got a man on the inside. Does he need it, Albanose? Does he need it? No, he doesn't. He's straight over. And he's got grounding. Well, Thomas Albanose has been fantastic all night. He's pierced the Sharks' defense. He's gone straight through and kicked it over. Well. Maybe it's not over yet. 71 points scored so far and counting. And once again, the Sharks' defense is just like, it's like a knife through butter here from Benetton. And he's just running on the shoulder there, getting it all wrong. Oh, that's a great little wraparound. Buddha Chamberlain has committed to making it event. And once again, Mapimpi's been stepped inside. It's the second time it happened with him. So maybe marking on against him from a man of the match perspective. I'm actually going to put Thomas Albanose into that man of the match conversation. I think he's had a very, very good game. Well, I'm gonna put those three names out there. I'll tell you what, if you're an Argentinian rugby fan, you're watching Thomas Albanese there, thinking this is the kind of thing we need from an international perspective. He's played really, really well tonight. 25-year-old, was playing for the Jaguars before he made the move to Benetton. Has played just 3 times for Argentina, so very new to the international system. I'll tell you what, if you can keep playing rugby like that, oh dear, that's a horrible, horrible restart. Turnover ball there. Tukuntunu is charging around. He's ran over somebody who's gone down, and he's gone out cold as well. Tukuntunu is such a powerful ball carrier. He is getting up there as Thomas Gallo, who's the man that he ran over. Murray Costa, by that, sorry, Mark Porkita rather. There's a bit of space, so will the Sharks be able to hit back? Pesi Buthelezi is working hard. The Sharks are 10 meters out. Penalty, though. I'll tell you what, we have to check on Thomas Gallo because he's taken a massive hit to the shoulder when Tukuntunu ran over him. Great carry, but a very poor restart from Benetton, and that could be the difference. You know, you can't afford to do things like that. You know, you cannot afford to score a try and then give the ball back. I think both sides have almost been guilty of just allowing the other side to come back. And with 9 minutes to go, I wouldn't rule out a draw here. 40 points to 33. Still got about 8.5 minutes to play. So we do have a poll going for man of the match. So if Barcia Khaleesi is leading that, we'll end that at the end of the game. Surprised to see Khaleesi leading Grant Williams, who I think has been absolutely terrific. But was a very good shift from the South African captain. And stolen by the Sharks. So once again, another mistake there from Benetton. Every single time they get an opportunity, they do sometimes make these mistakes. Yeah, but it's a really good work there from Miles to make a good tackle and try and get over the ball. Pesi Buthelezi show and go. Wants to go himself. Full of running has got placement number 8. Cameron Wright. Quick ball to Curran Bosch. Curran Bosch popping up to the Kanya. Kanya wants to chip it ahead. And good work there from Padavani. Hey, and a little bit of a dummy there from Miles. Look at that from the hooker. He's still going. I mean, he threw the dummy for the kick. I mean, he's never going to kick. The man's a hooker, and somebody bought hook, line, and sinker. That is a dreadful pass. Ignacio breaks under a lot of pressure, and he's throwing it out directly into touch. That's very frustrating. After all the good work there being done by Mal there to throw that into touch directly was a terrible pass from the base of the rack there. That needs to go to hand. And Benson, this is the point. They're kind of imploding a bit at the moment. I'm currently watching this on Supersport. However, if you do want to watch the games tomorrow, as I was saying earlier, go and get yourself ExpressVPN. You can watch the Stormers game, the Lions game, as well as the Bulls game, all for free if you do have ExpressVPN tomorrow. So go and get yourself sorted on that one. There are videos already on the channel on how to watch each game, and will obviously also be, all the links and stuff will be in the description of those streams tomorrow. And I'll be with you guys for all 3 games. We have a rugby marathon tomorrow. Good game though Mpimpi has had. Defensively, he has been stepped twice, which is might count against him. But he's gone through a lot of work, and I think there's a bit of pressure actually from an international point of view with how well Curtly Arendse went last year in the number 11 jersey. We did see a combination of Arendse, Leroux, and Chazon Colby as a back 3. But I think Mpimpi, very good all-round player. And look, it's his jersey, and he's defended it at the end of the day. Two more games coming up for the URC is Glasgow versus Scarlet and Ulster versus Dragons. Tomorrow we're going to have Bulls versus Zebra, Lions versus Leinster, Stormers versus Munster, Edinburgh versus Ospreys, and Connacht versus Cardiff. So Stormers Munster probably the game of the weekend, happening down in Cape Town. 2 very good sides that have been named. Arke Snyman is starting. And Evan Root's back on the bench, which is a big boost for them as well. Now, Thomas Gallo has departed, which means that Chapada needs to come back on. He had a tough time with the scrum in the early stages. He has had a good half an hour rest and some probably. So be a bit fresher than he was when he was being hammered. And he's going to have to now contend with Carlo Sardi, who is such a good scrummager. Well, that's about to say, looked like an early shove. Right, 7 minutes left. And again, as I said, we will be live for tomorrow. This game is going to redirect you to the Bulls game. So just go and turn the notification on so that you get a notification when they do go live. By the way, if you are new, please do subscribe to the channel. We have found a couple of new subscribers, which is very cool to see. We want to try and by the end of tomorrow, I'd like to be at 24,300 at least. Personally, I think we can get to a bit further than that, but we want to try and hit that 25,000 mark by the end of the month. That is the plan. So if you are new, please do consider subscribing. Please consider becoming a member. Yeah, we've got a lot of big plans, stuff like that, and all the members really do help. It's just a small monthly amount that helps the channel going. You have no idea how much it does help. The Kanya wrapping around to Cameron Wright. Good defense there from Benetton though. Sharks looking to try and kill this game over 6 minutes to go. The Kanya at scrum half. Goes to Brian Krobler. Always a willing runner. Kanya still at scrum half. Going to Ntukongunu, who is the reason Thomas Gallo has gone off. It was a huge hit on him. Cameron Wright, not too many options. Goes to Jean-Ray Lapis Lavaskatne. Cameron Wright now going to the right hand side. Kieran van Furen caught on the ball a little bit. So lost momentum here, the Sharks. Cameron Wright going to Lavaskatne. A little bit lateral. Good defense this from Benetton. 7th phase, Cameron Wright going to Taki Abrams, who's run straight into Nation Breaks, and unfortunately, not the biggest man in this Taki Abrams. Now, Sigmund and North looking to try and put them on the front foot once again. Penalty advantage for the Sharks. And they'll go back for the penalty. Yeah, as I was saying, so we really do appreciate all our members. We want to try and cover as many games as possible. We are looking at starting to cover a bit more Super Rugby as well. And obviously that requires getting people in to help with Watchalong and stuff like that. We really do appreciate all our members who do subscribe to a small monthly amount to help us pay for all the various things so that we can bring you cool things like the scoreboard, the tracker, and all that kind of thing. And as I said, lots of big coverage planned in the coming months. We've got a very big year ahead of us. Cannot wait to share with you guys what the World Cup plans are. Because we do have some very good big ones. It's a hard tackle there from a Nation Breast. So Sharks will be able to kick this to the corner. More importantly for them, they're going to be able to sort of wind the clock down. They can score a try now. That should be the game. It's been a high-scoring game, 73 points in it. Kieran van Furen goes, but they fumbled it to have Sharks and turnover boards, the double knock on there from Canoni as well. So it will be a Benetton scrum. They're going to have to go end-to-end within 4 minutes to try and draw this game. And please do remember to go and vote for the man of the match. Brian Krobler going up and the ball just going past his tips of his fingers.
For the Sharks, let's give away a penalty. Put that pressure on. Actually, Benetton, they do clear their lines. It's not a huge clearance.
A bit of break and play. There's a bit of blood. So just having a quick cleanup. But 24,272 subscribers at the moment. Surely there are 8 people that can just get us to 24,280. So if you guys haven't subscribed, please do, because I know that all 140 of you guys aren't subscribed. We can look at the stats, and the stats say like 80% of the people that watch our content are not subscribed. So don't be a lurker. Don't be that person. Come be part of the community. Embrace it. Like they're embracing the selfie there. In fact, I'd love to. I can actually go see the stats here. Where are the stats here? Where are my analytics? I'm going to show you exactly how much of the audience that watch this stuff are not subscribed. There we go. 85.7% of the people that watch this stuff are not subscribed to the channel. So yeah, that's poor form, I think. So if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. It really doesn't mean anything to you. It means a lot to us. Make my day. Right, we are finally going to be restarting here with the scrum. Alexander got busy with ball in hand and put this under the feet of his hooker and hope that they can get out quite quickly. They do get out quite quickly. That's a horrible pass from Kanone and a lot of pressure there. They are going to try and run it out. He's a little chip ahead though. And Thacker Abrams now. Good tackle from Alban. It was very well done by him, by the way, to get out of that situation. It was a horrible pop from Kanone, putting under a lot of pressure, and he just stayed calm, saw a bit of space, chipped into it, and Vincent Tuka being driven back. So Sharks do have the ball within the last 4 minutes. Kanya, I'm going to bit of a shuffle there from Porkita. Good tackle coming in from Benetton. I think it's a Nation of Breaks, who once again looks a bit sore. Been through the wars tonight as the outside centre. Pimpy now being held up. I don't think he's going to be able to get himself down, but he does manage to get the ball to Cameron Wright. Lapis Abaskakni pops it to Curran Bosch. Curran Bosch into Tuko Klunu. He managed to get the offload away back to Bosch. Porkita sees a bit of space in behind. Tabas Ormanos makes the tackle. So the Sharks still in possession. Cameron from Fury hit hard. Cameron Wright just delaying the pass, which allowed the Benetton defence to get up to the ball carrier. Now Werner Koch runs into Ormanos, bounces off him, and eventually is brought down the line. It's a horrible tackle. It's gone very high, and it is a penalty advantage. And it wouldn't surprise me if the Sharks actually thought about taking the 3 there and just guaranteeing them this result. Pace Boutelage, Thacker Abrams. Thacker Abrams is free footed. He is off to France next season to play in the top 14. Still a penalty advantage. Mtsuko Klunu tackled well behind the advantage line. They will go back for the penalty. And if I'm Sharks, you've got the bonus point. There's 2 minutes and 5 seconds left to take the points, guarantee the victory, and move on to next week. That's the best thing. They've got Munster next week, which is not going to be an easy game at all. So personally, I think they'd be very silly if they don't take the points. Now they're going for the corner. I can understand running the clock down, but I just think if you just get those 3 points, you've guaranteed yourself the win. Yeah, they are going to go for the points. Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't you go for the points? Apre Fassi running the water at the moment. Yeah, 1.5 minutes left. So you can take a minute to take the kick. You can grab the extra 3. That will guarantee them the victory, and then they can and all is good. As I said, the big thing for them is to come and get 5 points. They've done that. Pretty much done that. So job done for the Sharks. They're gonna have to do this again against Munster next weekend. It's a very important game. As I said, it was a bit of a playoff game for these two because Benetton are right behind the Sharks. So the important thing from the Sharks' perspective is that Benetton are only going to get 1 point out of this, especially with this kick as well. It'll take them past 7. So a very important kick this because Benetton are sitting on 40 points, Sharks on 41. They'll move to 46. Benetton will move to just 41 points. It's a good strike though, and it's straight to the middle. Curran Bosch turns very quickly, and with 1 minute left to go, the Sharks have done it. They can't lose from here. 43 points to 33. It's been a very entertaining game. I would say a lot of questions still being raised about the Sharks, and maybe coach staff which might not be particularly happy with how things have gone. But the main thing was to get the result. They have done that, albeit with some difficulty at times. Alban does chip it, and Sharks have been almost caught out of the way. They have lost possession, but I think a double knock on there, so we'll go back for the scrum with 15 seconds to go. Bit of a lack of awareness there from the Sharks, bit of naivety. Always going to go short there to try and gain the ball back there, were Benetton. So surprised nobody was aware to the threat. Quite late to react. Right, so we're going to end the poll there. And as voted by you guys, the Forever Sports man of the match for this game is Grant Williams with 47% of the votes. 2 tries from the scrum off. What a game from him. Such good form at the moment. And he's just going to get better and better. And I think that he's very much going to be knocking on the door for potential Springbok call-up. It will be a Shark scrum. The hooter has gone. All they need to do is get this ball out. Benetton are going to have a massive shove to try and see if they can try and get possession back. They can only get within 2 points of the 3 points of the Sharks, but it would still be an extra point for them. And it's got Australia underneath the heat, and Cameron Wright will kick this out. Right, final score then, 43 points to 33. People, thank you very much for joining me. We will be live tomorrow for all 3 South African games. Stormers Munster, Lions Leinster, as well as Bulls versus Zebra. So we'll see you guys then. Please do subscribe on the way out. Please do smash a like on the video. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Stephen,